There's a sword maker called Kvetun Armory for HEMA enthusiasts. And what did they do? They posted this right here, which sent a shockwave through the HEMA community. It is their most reacted to post on Facebook. It has the most comments, over 350 to be exact. And I'll share some of them on screen because I'd like to know your opinion. Is the reaction that they caught from this justified? Your opinion is valid, of course, to you, but I would like to hear it as well. Maybe we can debate about this in the comments. As we're at it, why don't you hit the subscribe button to my channel, because we're going to be talking about all kinds of things like this. All right, so here's the ad, right? One thing I'd like to start off with is one person in the comment section did say this is not like your typical posting. What they usually do is have an ad that looks like this, right? Every day they post something just like that. It gets like 24 to 48 likes, or more, right? They're selling swords. They're like, no one's ever been featured like a person in your photos except now. And they're pretty much correct. I scrolled back through their whole history, and this is basically an ad they had in January. There hasn't been a physical human being featured in any of their photos to sell swords like any time before that, or till just a few days ago. The other thing, though, I find this right here got a lot of quality reactions, likes, and hearts. It's very similar to this ad right here for music, right? Selling music tickets, selling swords. Very similar. They're both clothed, classy-looking photos, right? But all of a sudden, you have this. And this isn't a very revealing dress. As a matter of fact, I found one similar that you can compare this to. Check out these two side by side. This one on Instagram is actually like more for selling clothing and apparel for rich people, right? But it's not very revealing. Neither of them are. This one here doesn't even have a background. So you're basically got their model and the sword. So who is this model? Everyone was so upset. This photo just pops up in their feed. For people who know so much about HEMA, like no one knew that this is an actual like champion HEMA practitioner as well as an instructor. So many people know so much but can't even recognize the person. They're like, a girl in a dress using a woman as a prop to sell a sword. Okay? So my first thing is, if you're that knowledgeable about HEMA, why don't you know who this is? This is her Instagram that you could actually look up if you're interested in following this person. But she's a champion HEMA practitioner. And no one in the comments knew it. In the comment section, it's like, well, now that you provide context, well, how come you didn't know who it was in the first place? That's like Tom Brady of football. They post a picture of Tom Brady in a swimsuit, okay? And everyone's like, who's this hot guy you're using as a prop to sell your cell phone service? Oh, well, it's Tom Brady. He's actually like a world champion football player. So that's the funniest thing to me. This sent a shockwave through the whole community. Got this picture of this woman in a dress. Like I said, it's not very revealing. It's not like really a sexy dress to me. If I'm thinking that someone's going to be using a woman as a prop, you're going to see almost all skin, right? It's going to look like a Dark Souls character, a female character with no armor, basically holding a sword. And maybe a even more risque posture than something like this, or sitting on a chair. So we're going to get into some of these comments. I'll show them here on the screen. But before I do, let me just say I'm 45 years old. I haven't watched like TV, movies, advertisements. I try to avoid. I don't even watch the news for over 15 years. Or actually have video on how just out of touch I am here on my channel. Me and my girl are going to make a video, which I hope you check out. But am I just out of touch? If so, please try and re-educate me in the comments. But, I don't see a single thing wrong with this ad. I don't know how people can be so upset about this. It's just me, or is it these people who are just overreacting? But check this out. This first one. There's nothing wrong with women looking sexy or posing with swords, but please not as a promotion to sell equipment. They say they've been fighting for years to be taken seriously as fencers among men, not seen as pretty props. So, I don't know. I just look at this picture right here. It doesn't really strike me as anything too crazy, right? Is this really making people want to go buy their swords all of a sudden? No. Here's one. Using sex appeal to advertise swords is cringe. And it got 34 likes. You could have done a photo shoot with a very pretty model in fencing gear, mask under arm, and it looked great. It would have sold your product perfectly. Instead, you've made her the object, a piece of toddy for guys to ogle, and in many ways, the sword you're trying to promote is an afterthought. And this is also saying it impacts women in HEMA. All right, so hold up real quick. Where I go, if you're ever in Pittsburgh, look up Broken Plow, Western Martial Arts. They are like the #1 community to me. I don't see anything like this there. There's a big mix of men and women who both participate in sword sports there. And I don't get this at all. Like, there's nothing between, because one of them's a woman, that she gets treated any different. So either I'm really lucky in a very good community here in Pittsburgh, or I just haven't traveled out enough to meet the rest of the HEMA community. Here's one. Oh my gosh, that is way too long. You can pause it there and read it all if you like. There's like not much punctuation and no breaks. Come on, this doesn't help the cause of any. Women are underrepresented in HEMA, and the last thing we should be doing is normalizing objectification of them. You could have done much better and had the model wear a chainmail bikini. Maybe the next time you want to do a publicity stunt. What I say about the Dark Souls female character look with no armor? And this is basically probably even worse to the community than this nice dress that she has on. A chainmail bikini, for real? Here's one. As an underrepresented gender fencer in the HEMA world, I've already had to work hard to prove myself against cis men within the community. She's a fan of their sabers and disappointed, So this is, like I said, every opinion to each person is valid. Have you ever read Lowrider magazine? The women in that magazine are objectified. Something like this, totally not. And where's all the comments on that old post they had in January with the nice looking girl with the flowers and stuff with the sword? I mean, that right there makes me want to buy a sword more than this. And like I said, this is a champion instructor in HEMA, and no one even knew who it was till the day after. Even these people had no clue. Here's one. No more Kvetun for me. It doesn't have many comments, but I just thought it was funny, because is that serious or not? It's hard to tell. This one here sums it up perfectly, though. Like I said, I don't watch news, TV, movies, but I know this country and how it is. And this says, I love how you don't even need to look at profiles to know which comments come from Americans. So, yeah, I think it's pretty true. Something about this country, like everybody has some kind of agenda and they're just fighting for agendas. It's like, and you're on social media and you have to comment. People have to comment on everything. It's crazy. Americanists. I can see two possible solutions to the problems being raised. One is to have no more sexualized material at all. Two is to have a sexualized male as well. So let me bring you to the next part of the video. So what happened after they post this, right? They post the photos. So much of an uproar. The next day, they had one to clarify, like for context, which is like this post right here. And they explained who she was and why they posted it. And that it was mutual, that they both were interested in using these pictures for Kvetun Armory. But now everyone's like, oh, well, now you're adding context. This is, it's so much worse. Like, now you're adding context after the fact. And then the next day, this is the best. They posted this. I'm going to put a little, I'm going to blur some of that stuff out because of YouTube and censorizing stuff. But this is what they followed up with, these pictures here. So, now are we even? This is even more risky content than the girl in the dress. And then they even went a little bit further. And they added the T-Rex, dual-wielding T-Rex, which is kind of funny. And then basically all this blew over. It seems like everybody's back to normal. The haters are back in their boxes, till the next one. And then this is just what they post normally. Like, this is one from like 6 hours ago today. This is like their typical ad. But I just thought it was so crazy. And you can go look up their, you can look up Anna, the female model that they were talking about in this video. That's her Instagram stuff right here again. So you can follow her if you like. And you can check out Kvetun Armory. This is their stuff. They apparently make awesome swords, but so many people hated them for a little bit there. What are your thoughts on this? Am I wrong to think that there's no issue with this? Do you think there's an issue with this? Or is it totally okay and people are overreacting? I'd like to hear what you have to say about that there in the comments below. Hope you enjoyed another video on the drama in sword sports. We'll catch you in the next one.